The whole sector is looking for a commitment to stability and security in terms of funding and greater autonomy. We also want to get the overall commitment of public expenditure and private expenditure to higher education up to the OECD average, and we fall a little bit behind that. There are only two ways of doing this, either more money from the taxpayer or more money from the student. And the package that was put on the table by Christopher Pyne was more money from the student. We at UWA and the sector backed that because it was the only thing that was there. I think it's crucially important in higher education that we recognise that we're here ultimately to serve the best interest of the country and people in the country. We have to continue to drive the educational opportunities for our young people. We've also got to drive innovation and research, and to do these two things we need stability in terms of policy, and we need to be able to plan. We need to be able to take forward long-term plans, not to have each government coming in and immediately saying, we're going to change what the last lot did, we're going to change every funding stream in terms of research, we're going to change the criteria for student funding and so on. We want to be responsible, we want to do the best for the country. We need a governance regime and a funding regime that will allow us to do that.
Australia's higher education sector is absolutely positioned to ensure, firstly, that its graduates are positioned for those jobs of the future and that our academic programs ensure that the graduates are future referenced. But secondly, it's part of our responsibility together with our partners in industry and business to begin to grow the new industries based on new knowledge, on innovation, based on our global partnerships to really shape the industries of the future.
Obviously, the Australian Council for Private Education fully supports the proposed reforms. We think they create a tremendous opportunity for the sector, most importantly, the opportunity for students. Whether it's from universities, TAFEs or non-university providers, the qualification must mean everything. I certainly call on all of our industry leadership to get together and look at how do we ensure a quality system that produces qualifications that really make a difference in the lives of people and in the lives of work.
The best and the brightest don't always go to university. They choose to come to TAFE institutes. They choose to come to non-university higher education providers. In many cases they're from lower socio-economic backgrounds, they're more mature, they're doing industry-based degrees, and that we need to find a funding model that supports them. And so currently it's the access to Commonwealth supported places that is really important for our students. Many of our students feel that they've been denied access to those places. And industry is obviously supporting our qualifications and our degrees. We started delivering degrees at Sydney TAFE 5 years ago. We've gone from the first enrolment of 17 to 700 full-time bachelor students. That says that the market is determining that we are a very valid alternative to some of the university provision.
The plan that government is proposing is fundamentally unfair and unnecessary. It would be a serious disadvantage to poorer students and to mature age students. It would affect most directly people who live in rural and regional communities. And so the measures that the government's proposing would fundamentally change the nature of Australian universities, and we'd see more of the American style of education being imposed upon this country. The sorts of programs that I've been discussing in terms of improving the sustainability of funding arrangements, of improving the public benefit that's available through our university system, of ensuring that there's a higher level of collaboration with the private sector, can only be delivered by a Labor government. So we will see a very sharp contrast at the next election.
We really should see education as a human right, not just as a privilege. And under deregulation, there would be an enormous impact on students, on staff, and the very quality of education in this country. I think it's worth asking why so many countries are moving to free higher education. Take Germany, an absolute world leader in so many areas. They've had free higher education for just about 30 years. And I think the benefits here is education is then not just seen as a commodity. It's education that benefits the individual and benefits society. The Greens aren't saying we have the immediate solution, but we certainly can see that this discussion is needed in Australia.